Yeah, that's better. A couple years ago, I showed how you can ensure that your miter slot is running parallel to your saw blade. And in that video, I showed you how you can use a saw blade or you could use your sanding disc. And using the sanding disc, basically what you do is you establish the spot that you're going to use as your reference point. And let's say it's right around this spot right here. And I'm going to use that point both on the front and the back side in order to check how parallel this slot is running to that disc. And so I'll just move my quill forward until I'm touching. Keep in mind there's a little bit of play here in the miter gauge between the bar and the slot. And so I'll take advantage of that by pushing into the disc. If I pull away from it, there's a little bit of play. If I push in, I'm rubbing. Again, I pull it away, I'm not touching. So just a few thousandths of an inch away. So I'm going to slide this off to the side. Oh, I'm running into all that paper. Downside of using a messy disc like I have here. Oh, should have hit the tripod. Got that. So over on this side, making contact with that same point, push against the side of the miter gauge, and I want to have the same degree of drag. And I don't. I'm just a few thousandths of an inch off here. This means that my miter slots are moving in this direction. So if I had a blade here and was making a cut, my cut would be made, and then my stock that's against the miter gauge would drift ever so slightly off to the side. I've been okay with that because I know in order to get that out, I got to really, I really got to chase that. Basically, you've got two bolts back here and two bolts up here that are holding those half round trunnions to the table, or vice versa. They're holding the table to the trunnions. And in order to move this, you loosen 3 of the 4 bolts and you pivot the table on that tight bolt. And in order to get that small amount out is a bit of a fuss. And I just find in woodworking, it's really not that critical, at least not to me. Now, there are a couple ways that we could upgrade this system. The first one is we can get rid of this touchy-feely miter gauge approach and instead use something like a dial indicator. Now, this dial indicator here is currently mounted to a base that was cobbled together using some 3D prints. You can buy something similar to this for about $40 on Amazon, but keep in mind that because of the unique size of the Shopsmith bar here, you're going to have to modify this bar on those that you would purchase on Amazon. You're going to have to grind it or take a file to it or whatever. Even with this plastic printed one, I had to make some modifications to it. But let's now take this over to that same point right there, and we can rotate the dial around to more or less zero it out. And again, likewise, I'm putting a little bit of force against this, so it's pushing against this face of the miter slot, and you can see that we can see how out of round a sanding disc is, or how flat or unflat a sanding disc is. And we'll check it right there. So look at that. There's about 4 thousandths of an inch of deflection here. This is why I'm pushing against it. Let's bring this over to this side, and again, pushing on it. And you can see that I'm just a couple thousandths off from being perfectly parallel to my sanding disc. Now, one thing I can't do, because this disc isn't 100% flat, is I really can't draw this dial indicator completely across the face. It would give me all kinds of measurements. So in addition to upgrading to something like this where you've got a dial indicator. We can also upgrade this. We can also update this approach by changing out this disc. And instead of using a sanding disc, there are a couple products that are commercially sold. So instead of using the sanding disc, I can use a product such as this Wood River calibration plate or the master plate. These are commercially available. Obviously, this one from Woodcraft. This one you can pick up on Amazon and other places. But let's put this on. Now, to install this, this is going to go on a 5/8 inch arbor. This plate I could put on my saw arbor, but I've got a dado arbor here, which is what I'm going to need for that thicker master plate. And we'll install this, and we'll find out how true this disc actually is. Just going to rotate this around. I'll zero out our dial. A little bit of pressure against here, and I'm just going to rotate this around. Yeah. So is it flat? No, it's not flat. At least not in this combination of arbor, spacers, washers, etc. Not perfect. So we can do the same thing that we did with the Shopsmith sanding disc. We can make a mark or an indicator of some sort and just measure against that spot, both front and back. Okay. Oh, of course I got, oh, I can't back that off enough. Shoot. I have to raise this up so I can make it past. All right, let's try that again. So what I've done is I've raised my table high enough that I can clear that arbor. Over here, check it again. And again, we're off about 4/1000ths of an inch. Interesting, we're getting just as accurate a measurement with this as we are with a sanding disc. So let's try this with that master plate, and we'll see if there's any advantage to it. And before I do this, the one thing I forgot to mention is you want to make sure that this is unplugged when you do this. We certainly would not want to risk having these parts spin on us, but especially here with this master plate being square or rectangular, we don't need that fella moving on us. But this goes on here. Notice I'm making sure that I'm putting it on the unthreaded portion of this arbor, and that way I don't run the risk of it moving around on the threads. And tighten that down. Very good. And come up right here, zero this out while putting a little bit of pressure against it. And if that in fact is perfectly flat and being held perfectly flat in that arbor, we should be able to slide this over. I'll see, I'm hitting that. All right, so let's try this. It's funny that this is so sensitive that even with the quill here, I can't move it a few thousandths of an inch. It just isn't possible. Try that again. Go back here, a little bit of pressure. And what are we seeing here? So this is showing that we're about 2/1000ths difference from one end to the other. I'm curious if we have enough clearance to actually spin this. We do. So let's check this against this side. Crazy how much play. You know what? I need to tighten these set screws up. Didn't do that. It's going to make it a little harder to push this thing along, but it'll be a little tighter in the miter slot. Yeah, that's better. So what does all that tell me? I tell you what, using my miter gauge with just a rod as a feeler, I'm getting very accurate measurements here. Again, let's put this right here, get it right to where we're the other side, I guess. The way we'll do that. And again, we're missing it just by a couple thou. So what conclusions can we draw from this? Well, for me personally, I have found this approach of using the sanding disc with a 1/4-inch rod or a hex wrench has worked just fine for me. I understand that we're working with wood. Wood moves. There's some inaccuracies in the way that saw blades cut and so on, that within a few thousandths of an inch that I'm going to be just fine. Now, I don't want to get myself in a situation where the miter gauge is being driven into the side of the saw blade. So I will always err if I err in it drifting away from the back of the saw blade. If you are a retired machinist and you've got a ton of tools like this on hand, by all means use them to set your machine up, but then put them away. Wood isn't accurate enough for us to be using these tools to measure the finished parts that are coming off of the machine. You work to whatever precision you care to work to. I personally find this is close enough for the woodworking I do. But if you got the tools and the time, knock yourself out. I do want to thank Albert for loaning me that master plate. Like every channel, I'll link to these things down in the video description if you're interested. But I think for the most part, and for me, I'm going to stick to the method that came with my machine. But you do you, and make it a great day.